Hello and welcome! Today we are in the Tier 10 US battleship, the Mighty Montana. We're playing with the Halloween skin, and I actually think the Montana's Halloween skin looks the best one. Because she looks like a sea monster. Has a tail and all, and eyes and whatnot. Anyways, I'm playing with a standard US battleship, standard battleship captain build, which is priority target, expert marksman, superintendent, concealment expert, fire prevention, basics of survivability, and adrenaline rush. And in terms of the upgrades, instead of reload I go for the dispersion upgrade because I like faster turret traverse, and everything else is pretty standard. That is, these are the things you probably should be using on most battleships. Something like this anyway. So, we're playing on Okinawa. I spawned near the sea cap, but because we didn't have a destroyer over there, or many other support ships, we decided to go more towards the B cap. And I got a very nice salvo on the Worcester, and that kicked off the game rather well for me and my team. 27k with, well, one salvo more or less. A nice devastating strike. Next up, I guess I'll try to take a shot on the Smolensk, but I think I aimed slightly too low on that one. We hold the A cap right now, and I think we probably should be heading towards the C cap back again. Because it does seem like the enemy doesn't have many forces in B, so there's really no point in having too many ships over here, which is why I'm turning around and heading in that direction myself. There is a Montana over there. So there we have at least one other ship, and I suspect our gearing will actually come join us there as well. Or hopefully at least. An easy avoidance of the Okay, never mind, I take that back. Maybe this isn't as easy as I thought. But we'll easily manage still. So, they have a Smolensk, Grossa Kofest, and a Shimakaze in the sea cap. I think two Montanas can take that. Because, you know, it's only one battleship, and she's actually already at half HP. The Shimakaze could be quite a problem, but this is a CV match, and we could get support from the CV or the gearing. Either way, the match would probably be fine. The Shimakaze could also potentially just run away, because sometimes destroyers see that the situation is dangerous and they just leave. Okay, there's the Shimakaze. Well, she screwed up though, because she is within the spotting range of the gearing and there are CV planes around. And she doesn't have a smokescreen, so she's pretty much gone at this point. I really don't see what she could possibly do to survive this anymore. Because even if she gets away, CV comes back in a minute with rocket planes and then it's bye-bye. Oh, my AP shells all missed, but it's okay, the gearing finished her off. Although it does seem that the gearing is gonna pay the price for it too. That is very unfortunate. We probably didn't need to try the destroyer for the Shimakaze there. Well, anyway, I think that the two Montanas, that is me and the other Montana, will be able to take this sea cap. This Kofest is only, well, 12k HP left, and there is still a Smolensk, but she is down to 22k HP. Trying to get a nice shot off on her. 5k damage so far. And that's another devastating strike. Goodbye, Smolensk. Man, this feels very nice this game, huh? First, the Worcester gets devastating struck, a ship that all battleship players kinda hate because of the HE spam. Then we do the same to a Smolensk. This is really nice. And now we even get to deal with this Grossa Kofest. Well, I suppose our Worcester did it, but that's okay. Now the game is gonna get more annoying though, because I am the only ship in sea. I think the closest ally is gonna be like 8 kilometers away. And the enemy CV recognized that I am alone, which means that I will be the primary target for this CV for quite a while. And there's very little I can do about it. This is one of my main annoyances with the CV rework. Well, actually, even before the rework, we had the same problem. the CV focus fires on one target so much that it just becomes unfun to play against it. It doesn't matter that the CV isn't like super effective with these drops. The main thing is that there's nothing I can do about this. Like, I can just sit here and take the damage. That is the only thing I can do. Sure, I could launch the fighter plane, I suppose. That is a mistake I made here. But even then, it would have stopped maybe one of the drops. You know, the problem isn't that the CV does these drops over and over. The problem is once the planes die, or go away, the CV will come back again and strike me again. Or at least that's what she should do. Because I'm a lone battleship and I'm a fairly easy target. Match-wise though, we're even in terms of ships lost. But we definitely hold the cap advantage. We hold the B cap and we're definitely taking the C cap too. And Cyclone just started, which means that the enemy is gonna have trouble dealing much damage to our team. And this should give us an advantage because we will be ticking ahead in points. Their priority will be to try to contest the B cap so that, you know, we don't end up winning even harder. And planes are detecting me, which probably means the CV is back again. And there they are. So this time I launched the fighter immediately. But again, there's nothing I can really do about this. This time though, I do have another Montana next to me, so this should go slightly better. I mean, we're already shooting down a whole bunch of planes, but yeah, there's no way I can avoid this. Okay, the fighter... Okay, now the fighter combined with the second Montana probably won't allow a second strike. So now, nothing will happen because Cyclone hits and range gets decreased. Also, at this point, I've already rejoined most of my teammates, which is a whole bunch of other battleships, and our combined anti-air is good enough that the CV probably doesn't want to try striking me again. Since Cyclone is going on, and I probably won't have any targets possible within the next 30 seconds at least, I'm gonna take a blind shot into the ocean. Maybe I'll get lucky with some AP shells. Probably not, but you never know. Every shot, you miss every shot you don't take after all. Stalingrad is being pestered by the CV, but I think she can handle it for now at least. Next time the AP dive bombers come around, then probably not. You really need to be moving to when an AP dive bomber strikes you. Otherwise you'll just take a lot of damage. Okay, so right now, by the way, we're actually not in that great of a position anymore. We've lost our CV. The enemy team still has a CV, and there's still 10 minutes to go. Luckily though, we have 5 battleships and 2 cruisers. Well, the enemy has 4 battleships and 2 cruisers and a destroyer and a CV. But we do hold the cap zone advantage slightly still, and this should allow us to do some things. Although I think a good push here might be useful, because we could take out the Salem and the low HP Republic, because we really are playing against time here. Because the more time you give an enemy a CV, you know, the more damage they will deal. And so we need to, and they will eventually end up winning. You know, if the enemy team had infinite time, we probably would just lose this game. But that's obviously not true. So what we need to do is we need to try to snowball the game in our favor. That is, we need to win hard and quickly. That way the enemy doesn't have time to try to do anything about our mass of battleships. Because CVs are very effective against lone targets, but against big clumps like this, they're not that effective. However, what is very effective are Shimakas against big clumps of battleships. And unfortunately our Stalingrad just paid the price for that. So I decide here to just push out and hope that some of my teammates come with me. Well, actually no, that's not actually quite true. Some of my teammates are already there. If you look at the minimap, you can see the Montana. I wanted the Citadel that enemy Kofest, or at least deal lots of damage, but I didn't really get good shots off due to the island in the way. But since the Montana is pushing, I'm gonna push too. I mean, I could just ram this Yamato, but I really want to hit the Salem with the guns, but this Yamato actually went down before I got to ram her. So I didn't even have to worry about that part. So now the priority is the Salem. Yeah, the other Montana can probably deal with the Caw-Fist. Never mind, apparently it's my fire that dealt with the Caw-Fist. But I still have 20k HP left. Now I think we're significantly ahead. Because that Yamato basically got deleted. If that didn't happen, I probably would have to trade my own ship due to the ram. And I probably wouldn't be able to deal much damage to the Salem. So the enemy would have had a lot more opportunity to change things. So, Montana straight ahead and Salem on the side. Well, there goes the Salem, that's a Kraken. Come on, Citadels on the Montana, please. 22k, no Citadels though, unfortunate. I make a slight mistake though, because I started turning towards the left side, and so I could fire my guns earlier. However, this meant that my turn towards the right is delayed, and this meant that the Montana got a good angle on me and managed to sink me. Then again, 161k damage, 5 ships sunk. I really liked that Montana though. She pushed really well. Like, she was aggressive, and well, the team actually, like, look at this. All of the battleships are pushing. What is this? Teamwork? In my world of warships? Well, apparently it sometimes can work. It is something that I actually do notice. When one player pushes or does something, other players are likely to follow. So if everybody plays passive, other players on the team are more likely to play passive too. However, if you have some players who push, then other players are also more likely to push, in my opinion. Now though, it's just a CVN destroyer against 4 battleships and a cruiser. The cruiser is a Stalingrad, so there's that, but I think that it doesn't really matter that much, because we're gonna be able to... Well, we might not be able to hold the big cap. We'll probably at least be able to sink the CV at this point, because even if she goes behind the island, there's still 4 minutes to go, and one of the battleships should at least make it in there. And if the CV tries to run, well, obviously the other battleships will finish her off. And there simply isn't that much time for the CV to try to finish this. And 1 destroyer against 4 battleships when we're at 950 points, yeah, not likely. So we just end up winning. Damn, I really like the sky background here. That looks so good. Well, 161k damage, 2 devastating strikes, Kraken, Confederate, First Blood, 22 plane shutdown too, 3052 base XP. All of that was still not enough to make me #1 on the team. The other Montana got #1. The guy that aggressively pushed in the middle there, and the guy that supported me at sea. I mean, that is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a game where 2 players on one team got over 3000 base XP. But here we have it. And they're both Montanas. Surely we can all agree that the Montana, in this game at least, is very mighty. I have to say though that my team played very well, and I wish I got more teammates like this. Heavy battleship game, sure. But the cool thing was that the battleships actually pushed, they played together, which was something very enjoyable. Also, I like the contrast between their CV and our CV. Their CV was significantly better than ours, but I suppose you could say that our CV maybe just got unlucky that she got taken out so early. It doesn't take much for a CV to just be sunk, and at that point, I mean, basically it's not even when the CV starts taking damage where it's too late, it's like a minute before that, where it's already too late and you can't really change things. Oh man. Yeah, the Stalingrad also needs compliments. And everyone else that survived. Unfortunately, I didn't have a compliment for the last guy, but whatever. This was an amazing game. I had a real blast playing this one. Well, not when I got struck by the CV torpedoes, but the rest of it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Quelhoth, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.